Welcome everyone to Trauma Talk Thursdays, episode 29. Wow, excited? Tonight we have all our amazing angels who are going to be speaking live in Times Square in New York City in a theater on Broadway for the very first time. We are not bringing drama to Broadway, but we are bringing trauma. Your Trauma Talks, it's the first of its kind, a mental health conference right here in beautiful, amazing, vibrant New York City. Yes, and my lineup of amazing speakers, keynote speakers will bring it for you, will help you because whatever they have to say, their story, their resilient, their truth is going to connect with you somehow. That at the end of the conference, you are going to leave with something amazing. Your mindset will change. And guess what? They're all going to tell you tonight how they have so much amazing giveaways for all of you who attends. Yes, as long you register, your name could be pulled for something free within that raffle. And they're giving all these things. It's all up to you to take advantage of it. You know, I was just asked just yesterday if I am ready, if my talk is ready, if I am prepped. And I was like, well, I just was thrown with a new topic. And my topic is deep. My topic hits home with every single one of you because my topic is social media and mental health. And many of you out there, especially on TikTok, it's a competition. Who can do it better than who? And I want to do it and look like that. All these amazing challenges is great. But then at the end of the day, the mental state of mind that it's putting a lot of people in, it's really bad. Trust me. The ones you see that's up there, famous, well known, they are the ones who are making it. And guess who? You're making it happen for them. But what are you doing for yourself? What are you doing for your mental health? And this is what Rye is going to talk about. See, let's talk about social media right here while we're at it. And one of the plus is we learn a lot from social media. A day you're feeling very sad, you see some comedy on social media, you can laugh. I love that. But recently, within the past 2 to 3 years, I've noticed something about social media. Anyone have a breakup and it just didn't work out in the way it should for them, the other person is a narcissist. See, I've been researching some of the different type of videos out there and the descriptions of a narcissist. But apparently some of them describe the narcissist as just a person who they had a bad falling out with and things did not go right with them. Let's school you a little bit on a narcissist. You could be in a narcissist's life and you could be cheering them on as they win races. You could be telling them they're beautiful, they're handsome, they're gorgeous. You can be cheering them on as they get their promotions at their job. But the day things turn and you're the one that wins a Grammy or an Emmy, or you have some greatness that's happening to you, you got to be ready on that day because they would not bat an eye. They would not even look twice to even tell you congratulations or smile with you openly like you were supporting them. And at that moment in time, you better love yourself. And don't be loving yourself selfishly. Because guess why? That moment, you got to love yourself enough to know that you are doing it for you and not someone else. And yeah, you will wonder and you will think, hey, wait, that person is so sweet with so many others out there. Well, guess what? It's just a facade. Because guess at the end of the day, they don't even love and respect and understand their own selves. So this is how deep Rise bringing it on Thursday. at the theater center. So, you know what? I've been talking a lot, and I love and I miss my beautiful co host. So, at this time, and I know all these amazing people waiting in the comments. I saw Sherry online, Asians community is there. We have Carolina online. We have Sweetie Nuri online. We have, I think Jenny is there. So guess what? Tamara Patrick is there. And every one of them loves Brittany Purr. So Brittany, hi, how are you? How's your week?
Doing amazing, getting through it, and making wonderful things happen.
Yay, are you excited?
Definitely. I am very excited for what is happening in New York next week. Oh my God.
Well, I'm excited to see you because it's more than a year that we met in person, and your
Oh,
energy is so amazing. It's what like some men. We all know who I am, but at the end of the day, is that my love for everyone shines out. But when I met you and this love that we connected with, this bond is amazing that it keeps going, and I realize the connection grows not just because of Trauma Talks Thursdays every week, but it grows like the little convos we have, the little ways that you would say, well, Ra, actually this, and you see things so subtly, and you're always picking up for someone. That's so amazing with you. And I love, love, love that you bring it real week after week. So
mhm.
here's what, Britt. Let's bring up our first guest because we have a lot of every. You know what? I think everyone cannot be just sitting backstage for the entire time. They all gonna have their turns, but let everyone show every one of them some love. So I'm gonna welcome each person up on the stage right now. We're gonna bring them on, starting with our beautiful, amazing Yannick, Tiffany West, Susie, Malena, Dr. Nimpu. Wow. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Let me hear the excitement.
Woo!
Woo!
Hey.
We got a whole panel here tonight.
This is going to be amazing. Trauma Talks. Are you all ready?
We're ready.
Absolutely.
Very good. So I know we all can't speak at the same time. So here's why I'm putting you guys backstage. And I'm going to leave Tiffany on. And we're going to start with Tiffany. All right? Tiffany, so how are you doing? You were one of the guests that we did not have so far on Trauma Talks Thursdays. So we are very excited that you are actually here with us. And we're gonna hear part of your talk because you're gonna be live here in New York City. And we're gonna hear what advice you have for us today. But before we do that, I want you to do this for every one of our rasters right here tonight. I want you to tell them a little bit about you for the next minute or so.
Yeah, hi. I'm so happy to be here. I'm overjoyed. Hi, Brittany. Thank you. I met Brittany and she connected me to this beautiful opportunity just a couple weeks ago. And I just cannot believe I said yes to this. I said yes to me. And I said yes to being able to share my story to inspire other people. Hello, everybody. My name is Tiffany West. First and foremost, I am a woman of my creator. I'm a divine feminine being, and I'm a spiritual light worker. I love being on this planet to serve. I'm a mother of two beautiful boys, and I'm an emotional care coach. And I really help women overcome a lot of the covert traumas that they don't realize exist that are wreaking havoc on their health, mentally, physically, relationships, and their symptom treating. And what I help them do is follow those symptoms as clues, and we go on a treasure hunt to find the treasure in their trauma. And so I'm really excited to share a different twist. We hear that word trauma, and it can be very, very heavy. And we are all very much in this together. Nobody got into this human world without experiencing some sort of trauma. So we all can rise together and we can all heal together. And I'm just really excited to be able to share this with everybody tonight.
Wow. Britt, where did you find her? That was powerful.
She's amazing, right? Like, absolutely adore Tiffany. We've hit it off incredibly well. Met her at a networking session, and uh, I just love her healing modalities, including somatic healing and many other things. And I love that part of turning trauma into treasure, because that is what it's all about. And that is beautifully stated, Tiffany. Thank you so much for being here
Thank
tonight.
you.
I'm
Thank
excited
you.
to hear a little bit about the book.
Well, Tiffany, we have your first 3 minutes of the video we're about to show. But one thing I want to say is to all the women who is viewing right now, especially those of you in New York City, please join in and come out and listen to what Tiffany has to offer. Because I'm sure, I know for a fact, because I speak to a lot of you, and I know as she put it, the mental trauma that some of you go through and how she can help you turn that around. So don't miss out on this opportunity. So, Tiffany, we're going to play your video, and then we're going to give you the stage for at least a couple of minutes to talk a little bit about trauma. How's that?
Feels good to me. Let's go.
Sounds like fun?
I can't wait.
Let's do this.
What's up, New York City? Oh my gosh. Shout out to all my trauma survivors. Let me hear you make some noise. Let me hear you say, we're in here. We made it. Yes. And who's ready to keep rising? You know, y'all, we've been in survival mode long enough. I don't know about you, but I've been fighting. It's been a fight to get here to where I am today. This has been a war, survival of the fittest. And we have lived here and made it here. We want to thank that version of ourselves for getting us to where we are today, getting us through whatever's next, whatever we're currently in. If you've made it through something hard before, you can absolutely do it again. But I don't want us just here merely surviving. Survival mode is awesome, but there's more. And I want us moving into a thrive mode. Who's with me? No more just merely surviving, making it by, settling for the bare minimum. That's not what you came here for. You came here to thrive, to radiate, and to step boldly into your potential. So, man, I'm so happy and grateful to be here with all you beautiful souls, looking at your beautiful, lovely faces. How's everybody feeling tonight? This is my first time in New York City. I just want to take a minute to feel your energy. Would that be okay? Connect with your hearts, catch your vibe, marinate in this love and receive all this love that I'm feeling and give it right back. So, did you know that being ignored has the same chemical effect on your body as being physically hit? Let that sink in for a second. And they say silence is golden, and it is. But when you're suffering in it, not so much. Suffering in silence is traumatic, which is what brings me to my topic tonight: covert trauma, the silent killer of our physical health, of our mental well being, of our precious hearts, of our connections, of our relationships, of our success. Why am I talking about covert trauma? Well, because not all wounds are visible. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not there, doesn't mean they don't exist. Just because they're silent doesn't mean they aren't being expressed through your body and mind with symptoms like anxiety, depression, PTSD, chronic pain, illness, fatigue. And tonight, I want to share my story about how I didn't think I had a story valuable enough to tell, worthy enough to share, and how I made it through covert trauma when it tried to take me out. It doesn't have to take you out.
Like, I couldn't explain that in a different way, Brittany. What do you think about that?
I think Tiffany's topic is an incredibly important subject. I think it's something that we don't pay enough attention to, something that affects our health in the long run. So what Tiffany brings to the table is absolutely incredibly important, because these micro traumas that we constantly are taking in and covertly bottling up, I'm going to let her dive in on this subject because I know that she has a lot to unpack around this.
So, Tiffany, we are going to give you like the next 5 minutes on the stage because we really have never had you as a guest. For right now, you have 5 minutes and we will be back.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So my focus on covert trauma is really near and dear to me because, like I said in that short clip, my story has always been that I didn't have a story. You know, it didn't compare to all the big T traumas. And I've got my little toddler with me tonight. So excuse me, I'm in full mom mode. But my trauma didn't compare to the big T trauma. So I constantly dismissed myself and the part of me that needed me the most. And I like to talk about, watch out, baby, gotta be quiet, okay? I don't need them, thank you. And I just want to just share and shine a light on those invisible emotional injuries that we don't realize are even there. And if you are experiencing anxiety, depression, physical symptoms like chronic pain, and chronic fatigue, digestive issues, you name it. That was my story for the longest time. And I couldn't pinpoint what was wrong with me. And so I went to doctors and I tried all the holistic modalities. And it wasn't until I acknowledged the connection between my emotional health and how that was impacting my physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. And so that's why this topic is so near and dear to me, because I now know that I do have a story. I'm no longer silencing my story, and I don't want you to silence yours either. And covert trauma is just really near and dear to me because, yes, it is, baby. It's really near and dear to me because if we don't know that we have wounds, how can we heal them? If they're left untreated, then we're just going through our lives with these invisible injuries, and they are impacting so many things. And then we question our own selves, we question our own worth, we question our own ability, and we aren't able to really fully step into our potential because we're wounded and we don't even realize we are, and those wounds need attention. So one of the main things that I'm going to be talking about in New York is emotional neglect, the things that we did not receive. So it's not so much about what happened to you. It's about what didn't happen for you when you needed it and how it impacted your system individually, and telling you you don't have to compare your trauma to somebody else's trauma, because trauma is not about the actual event. It's not about what happens to you. It's about what happens in you as a result of a traumatic event. And this is where that inner validation gets to come in, and you get to tell your story, and you get to acknowledge that you have one, and you don't need to blame anybody else, but you get to really start to heal when you recognize that there's a wound that needs to be treated, and there's a process to treat it. So my journey has been all about uncovering these emotional wounds through my symptoms, and instead of treating those symptoms, I've been looking at those as little divine breadcrumbs, little divine clues that have led me back to the treasure inside of my trauma. Hi, baby. And that treasure was me. Watch out, baby, I can't see. Just like that treasure inside is you, your authentic self, the voice that was silenced, the voice that wasn't heard, the emotions that had to be stuffed down because they were either too much or too little or too whatever. And that was a lot of my story, is that I was just too sensitive, and I'm very empathic and intuitive. So I absorbed everybody's energy and didn't know what to do with that. So they became injuries in my system that got silenced. And in that silence is where I started to have that slow demise of my health over time. And it was so dangerous because I had no idea that it was there. So I just want to shine this light to you tonight. Just a minute, baby, okay?
Talk quiet.
I will, just a little bit. He needs to hear a show, y'all. So let me talk a little quieter. But my story is just really powerful because going through everything I went through, gaslighting myself, dismissing that I had anything wrong was creating more trauma. And I just resisted and ran from that for so many years, but I'm not running anymore. And I'm not fighting for my survival anymore. I'm here to fight for thriving. I'm here to fight for people knowing that the healing is out there. And I also want you guys to keep in mind that anxiety was always my biggest problem, quote unquote. Yeah, I looked at it as a curse. It created so many issues internally for me. But I want to tell you the good news about anxiety is that is your body's way of sounding the alarm that you've got some invisible wounds, and you get to come on this treasure hunt and find that version of yourself that's ready to come out, that's ready to shine. She's ready to radiate. He's ready to step into his power. We're ready to take this to another level and thrive. And I'm so excited to talk to you in New York more about this topic. Thank you so much, Ra.
You know, I really call all of you angels, and there's no doubt about that, because so far we have heard every one story that's going to be speaking. Everyone was on an episode so far. Susie, Malena, Dr. Nimpu, Yannick, Nancy. We can go down. Yeah, Anya. We can go down every single person. Even the host, Lavari, was on your Trauma Talks Thursdays. And I mean, it's powerful. This is mind blowing. Very, very, very mind blowing. Who is going to miss this is going to miss something that they need to hear, you know? So, Tiffany, thank you so much. I'm excited to see you next week. And I'm about to put you backstage. Enjoy for now. And we go on to the next amazing, amazing speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye,
But
everybody.
before you go, let's read some of the comments that everyone is commenting. They love you. Upscorum is giving you love. People are watching from Trinidad. We have Geneva is saying Jenny is going to be in front of the line. I can tell you that. She's going to be right there. Thank you, Tiffany. You see this? Your baby. Someone is saying so cute, sweetie Nuri. Thank you. Thank you. That's trauma in silence and all alone. So amazing. We have all this. Such an amazing mom, you see. So everyone is sharing their love with you. Tiffany, thank you so much again. We will see you soon. All right. So we had that little introduction. Normally, every single week, we hear her introduction. But today, you're going to hear something different with her. All right. So let's do this. And I'm not going to be here when she gets on back because, I mean, Brittany Purr can do her thing.
So I would like to introduce our next speaker, Brittany Purr. As a speaker, Brittany has shared a virtual stage with Les Brown and is also the self-published author of Can I Get Some Sleep? A guide of quick and easy tips to get a good night's rest. I need to get that book, Brittany. She is a single mom to an ambitious teen and her 2 Instagram viral cats. Please welcome Miss Brittany Purr. And Brittany, before you go, where are you from and where you reside now?
I am from Orange County originally, and I live in Los Angeles now. I've traveled so far.
All right. So first off, I start with gratitude. So thank you, Lavari, thank you, Casey, thank you, Ra, for putting on this event. It's been amazing so far. And I'm going to start with my book a little bit. Can I Get Some Sleep? This book was originally developed because as a kid, sleep was hard to come by. I grew up in a strange setting that many of you might have experienced, maybe you don't believe in this. I grew up in a haunted house where I had seen, experienced some presences and found out later on that my family, who also grew up in this house, experienced it as well, but we never talked to each other. Because the thing is when I went to my mom for comfort, abuse would come out. I would be punished. So I experienced a lot of fear in my childhood. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, because fear leads into trauma. And a lot of us, whether we know it or not, are experiencing trauma almost daily in our lives. When we turn on the TV, when we go onto social media, everywhere around us, when we witness that accident and kind of, looky-loo right by it, trauma. So I want to get a lot of engagement here, because I don't do things and just be like talking head at you. I want you to actually have an experience, because I want to take you through a journey of where you can get an idea of experiencing this and then bring yourself out of it, because the first step is recognition. So when someone is scared, how do they react? How do they respond? Can someone just act it for me, or all of you kind of show me what scared looks like?
Thank you. Thank you for that. I always love that introduction. It is absolutely amazing. And yeah, so you got a little snippet of my talk there. I usually do immersive talks because my job is to get you out of the fear paradigms. And we are being stimulated with fear on a daily basis from all sides. I'm sure someone has brought up to you what's going on in the world right now, the doom and gloom of these situations, doom and gloom of our government, and everything that's just happening around the world. And really, we get stuck in a state of fear. And even worse than that, we get addicted to fear and fear stimulation. And that affects us and our bodies in various different ways, to where our body ends up adapting to the state of fear, which leads us into needing fear to continue our daily lives. And maybe we don't feel alive when we're not stimulated by fear, or getting that adrenaline rush, or having that cortisol stored in our system that is wreaking havoc on our bodies. Harking back to Tiffany talking about covert trauma, that's what covert trauma does to us. And she, obviously has the healing modalities through this. But for me, I dive you into an experience where you can have a tangible act, or something that you can have within your repertoire or your tool belt that you can bring out and utilize in times when you're starting to feel that fear rise up. First and foremost, a lot of us don't even realize that we're dealing with fears on our daily basis. We don't understand how to set up healthy boundaries around that, and to say, hey, I'm not invested in this. I can't handle this right now. Hey, I'm not okay for this sort of gossip. And we also don't often create these safe spaces for ourselves where we can get that self-care and that nurturing that we need. I discovered this on my own because I was dealing with it. As you saw, I grew up in a haunted household where there was a lot of things happening, a lot of things that I still have these little quirks that I do in this day and age, like blinds, curtains need to be on the windows, and those things need to be shut at night. Okay. I don't want to be looking out of a window at night at all. And other things like that, like I do not have mirrors in my bedroom because of that. And that's how it's affected me on these little quirks. And I got to thinking, well, what else is affecting me when I'm dealing with these fears, and how I've adjusted my life to accommodate for these things when I need to adjust my life to accommodate for safe spaces for me. to accommodate for self-care, which was something I was not accustomed to. That was put on a back seat when I went to go for support or nurturing from my mom, and all I got was yelled at and I'll give you something to cry about. So needless to say, I abandoned myself, and I'm going to give you some of the keys to rediscovering yourself and your self-care and putting fear on the back burner.
Look, I just can't wait. It just keeps getting better and better and better. Such an amazing, deep, as you said, it's dark. And we see, I'm looking at his comments and natural, supernaturals. Then we have Jenny is telling you you're so right. See, the darkness is what really makes you strong, you know. Because when you're in that darkness, there's nothing else that you're looking for but that light, that piercing light. Just as I say, when you fall, there's nowhere else but up. Brittany Burr, thank you so much. I'm excited. I'm sure they are excited. Jenny, put in the comments, aren't you excited to come and meet your best buddy, our co-host every single week on Drama Talks Thursdays? Aren't you excited to come and actually meet her in person and get some pictures with her? Jenny, put that in the comment for us. Brittany Purr, thank you again so much. So let's do this. By the way, who did we say we were bringing up next? Did we say it was Susie, right? So let's check it out. So I think we're going to have Brittany, then we have Susie right after Brittany. Yeah, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring Susie up and let's play her little video so you all get excited because this is what Susie will be speaking about.
Susie, and I'm known as the tuning fork magician. Because when I wave my tuning forks, your stress and anxiety disappear. And your magical self reappears. Yes, I'm talking about you. You are a magical being. There's a quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer that actually haunted me when I was 52 years old. He said, "Don't die with your music left inside." And so many of us have hopes and dreams of doing maybe art or photography or music or becoming an author. We have all these big dreams, maybe of travel, but somewhere along the line, they get stifled or they get completely shut down. And at one point you think, I'm too old, it's never going to happen. Or a lot of us have forgotten because we're so bombarded by other people's wants and needs that we forget what we really wanted and what we really needed. And this is particularly true for a lot of women because we're caregivers and we put everybody else above ourselves. The reason I'm so excited about sound therapy is that sound breaks through all that static and helps you connect back into you, back into your soul, what I call your soul song. That's my hope for introducing you to the power of sound today. And the name of this talk is Tuning Into Happiness. And by the end of this, we're going to have a really fun exercise, and you're going to see exactly what I mean. So I'm super glad that you're here with me today, and thank you, and I can't wait to get started. And I have my tuning forks with me. Wow, you coming back? You leave me here hanging. Okay, I think you said I was going to go 5 minutes.
We got this.
Okay. I'm going to be so excited to meet all you guys. So sound therapy, what amazes me about sound therapy, so many people, when they think about it, they just think about hanging out in a yoga studio, wearing sweatpants, and just like laying down and listening to the bowls, which is amazing. But they're doing so many scientific studies, and it is doing wonders for people that are suffering from post-traumatic stress. And at one of the sound conferences I was at, I was completely floored and amazed. Like, I know a lot about this stuff, but I had no idea it went this deep. And there was a man who was an ex-cop and ex-military. And he was explaining how most military men or police officers, they've been through a lot of traumas, but they can't talk to regular psychiatrists about it. They only want to talk to people that are in the the armed forces or the military. So this man was training military and police officers to be sound therapists, and he was in charge of a suicide hotline. He actually equipped one of his vans, these black ops vans, with all sound therapy equipment. And when he got that call that someone was going to commit suicide, he went over there with that van, literally grabbed them out of their house, put them in the van, gave them sound therapy treatments, and he saved like 300 lives in 2 years. This is how powerful sound therapy is. So even though it's like beautiful and people think it's woo-woo, it has these tremendous, tremendous health benefits, and it really works faster than any drug or anything out there. If somebody is in a desperate situation and they're immersed in sound, he actually had these acoustic sound tables. It literally flips your brain set, and he saved all these people. So that's the power of sound. And that's why I'm so excited, because sound therapy is something we can all do. You don't even need any of this expensive equipment. Like, the expensive equipment is good for emergencies, but we're all born with everything that we need, and that's our voice. And you can do so much with humming and toning, because when you use your own voice, your voice is actually the exact frequency your body needs to heal itself. So when you sing to yourself, or you talk to yourself, or you hum, you're putting your body in a perfect harmony. And when your body is in that perfect resonance, you're more relaxed. And it actually releases all the good chemicals and all those feel-good hormones that make you feel great. And an example that we don't realize how stressed you are. Think about all of us maybe in Manhattan, and you're going through traffic, and somebody beeps the horn at you, and you go like this. You don't realize it, but your nervous system is like screaming inside. Now you have a choice. You could like walk around like this tense all day, right? Or you can actually honk back. Believe it or not, honking back and making that horn sound back will relax your body by getting that sound out. And that's another way of relaxing. So it's so important to constantly express yourself, vocalize, and speak up. And that's one of the reasons I feel too very passionate about that quote by Wayne Dyer, about not dying with your music left inside. We all need to express ourselves, because the way you have true happiness is when those inside desires you have and the values you have are expressed in your outside actions. So if you want to be singing or doing art or doing that photography, you need to be getting out there and doing it and living your life. And if you are a caregiver, please make time to take care of yourself. And one of the easiest things you can do is sound therapy. And oh, good, perfect timing.
I figured you were almost done, but you could continue.
I
Go
just
ahead.
I didn't know how long to talk, but I'm so excited to meet everybody, and I can't wait till Thursday. And I have a special gift for everybody that shows up.
Wow, look at that. Look at that. You know, when I think it was 2016 was my first time I was introduced to the singing bowl, and that person suffered with kidney they had kidney failure, and they used to be on dialysis. And that person believed so much that that through this healing, that somehow the universe will either heal her kidneys or send her the kidney, because she was on a waiting list, right?
Oh wow. And
And the story is, you know, I don't really like to talk people's stories that really don't know, but when you see later on, I found out some random person found out she needed a kidney and gave her a kidney.
oh, how beautiful.
Just like I saw this little comment here. Well, everyone's comment about Brittany was all right. You know, I grew up with the spirits, right? We said that, and Jenny was saying she's excited. Here we go. Oh my God, I love Susie. I am excited. Susie, this sounds very interesting. Whoa, that was the introduction. That was your introduction. The episode was good. I read what she said about her depression in the New York Wire. Great job, Susie. I can't wait to meet everyone in person. Well, I love this. So you see, let me tell you, the sound therapy and the singing bowl actually made me decide now, okay, I want to learn more about it. So when I ventured to Thailand, I was so excited to learn more about this. And actually, would you believe, I used to have an ulcer, and I still do have the ulcer, but let me tell you, it will ring with pain and I'll be rolling and crying. And I learned this thing where you can actually, and you should be able to resonate with it when I say this, to use the song from the bowl and let it be able to heal. And trust me, I haven't, it's been about 2 years and a half or some, maybe 3 years. I haven't had one of those ringing pains that will actually make me want to fall down. So, song therapy, my friends, all of you, my rasters, Susie's coming to actually help you. See, with this mental health conference, it's not just about psychologists or psychiatrists or mental health counselors coming together to tell you the same thing you would sit with them in therapy to do or advise you or try to help you in the right way they can. This is actually to manage your mental health daily, the things that sends you into depression. Do you know a narcissist can make you start thinking so badly about yourself that it goes on with you for a very long time just by undermining you, putting you down, telling you you're ugly, telling you you're no good, what the things you're doing, trying to do your best, like you're dancing, and you know you're practicing this dance and you're trying to make sure that this dance is just as everybody else on social media, and that person comes out and tell you, oh no, you could do it better, or it's not good enough. That brings a person down and it sticks with them. It carries it along. Certain damages, as if you learn more about the brain and the hippocampus, you would understand what it does. It actually shrinks certain ways on your thinking, and your memory loss comes up with all these things because when you undermine and hurt someone, and this is where my talk comes in with narcissists again. But yes, and you see these things happen on social media over and over. So this conference brings together a vast difference because everyone who's speaking so far, as you have heard, is coming with something different. Because as it was said, this person read your story in the New York Wire, and what she spoke about in the New York Wire was she was in very depressed place because of certain things, and song therapy helped her. And Susie is living proof, and she's right here, and she's the one going to speak about it. So, Susie, thank you so much again.
Thank you. And thank you for putting this all together. You do such a beautiful job.
Thank you so much, but I couldn't have done it without your support and all of you that's here today. So next on the agenda is, let me see if Brittany Purr, do you have any questions for Susie? Let's bring Brittany Purr back on just for a quick second because she is my co-host.
Hey.
Hello, great to see you again, Susie. And what really brought you into discovering sound healing in the first place?
Me, I had Sjogren's and lupus, and the doctor told me I was never going to get my energy back. And I had severe brain fog, and it was making me depressed because I used to do martial arts. I used to sculpt. I lost the ability to use my hands, and I was really depressed. I couldn't do any of the things that I loved. And I was trying everything. I was taking 122 supplements a day. I was on a gluten-free, sugar-free diet. I did all this stuff, and I only got about 80% better. I couldn't get my energy back, and I couldn't get the brain power back. And he told me that was it. And I almost believed him, but by accident, I ended up getting my first sound therapy treatment. And within 20 minutes, it's like one 20-minute treatment. And I was like, oh my God, my brain was like restored. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I have a brain again. I'm not stupid. Right. And I feel like re-energized, and my body felt good. And I sat up on this table and I went, I want to become a sound therapist because I couldn't believe it works like that fast. And everyone, like, as soon as you feel it, so it's instant results. And I just fell in love with it. And then the more I got into it, I went into the color therapy, the light therapy, because then they all, they go together, and completely changed my life. And it went from being sick and depressed to now having something I love that I was passionate about and having a career as a sound therapist. I opened an office like 2 weeks later. I got all my equipment, because back then it was all equipment I was using. I didn't know about using the voice. So I just started out with all this equipment and therapy programs that read people's frequencies, and I play the frequencies back to people, and it makes all the difference in the world. So super excited about it.
Wow.
Awesome.
All right, so Susie, we are going to put you backstage, and we are going to bring the amazing, the beautiful, the sweetheart, what did I say? She is a best-selling author and she's a good friend of Susie's as well. So I'll bring her while Susie's here. Let Susie say something a little bit about Yannick Sadie.
Yannick, I love Yannick. I am Susie. If it wasn't for Yannick, I would not have met all you wonderful people and I would not be part of this conference. So, Yannick, I am super grateful for you. And you're just an amazing human being. And I love you so much. So,
love you too, Susie. Can't wait to see you in person in New York.
We've never met in person. So, it's going to be so cool.
Yeah, finally. Yeah.
Super grateful.
So, all right. So we're going to take a step back, all of us. We're going to leave Yannick here with her amazing video because you all have heard Yannick's story already. But she's about to give you a sneak peek of what she's bringing to Broadway. Yo, let me tell you this. Our entry fee is only $40. At the same theater, there is Seinfeld and there is Friends in that same theater. The tickets start at $75. And we are doing something that will help you all. So grab your tickets now. All right. So we are going to give Yannick the stage at this point in time. Yannick, we love you.
Oh, that's nice. But you could have done better. 96%, eh? What happened? Why didn't you get 100%? Oh, why couldn't you look more like your mom? You're just as ugly as your dad. You know, you're the eldest. You have to set the right example. How would you feel if somebody said these things to you? Sad, anxious, inadequate? Well, that was me growing up. No matter what I did, I never could get recognition or praise. I would be compared to someone else. Or I would be pointed out what I didn't do, what I could have done better. Or what I did was minimized. So I worked really, really hard to be excellent at everything I did, to be a good example for my younger siblings, to do well at school and everything else. I felt like I could never be enough. I focused on what I didn't do, what I could have done better, on my shortcomings, or what others felt were shortcomings, or what I was made to believe, instead of focusing on my accomplishments, celebrating me. You see, I was a people pleaser, and that was exhausting until I had that critical incident that changed me forever. You see, we are the product of our thoughts. So we must be mindful of the self-talk we have with ourselves. Hi. So it's a little heavy, isn't it? And this is what I'm going to talk about in New York when I go to the conference. What I want to share is that we often, when we are told things and get gaslighted, at one point we don't know who we are anymore. And we believe what other people say. We don't mean to, but it's almost like, osmosis. The more you pick at it, and then there's a hole, and then it infiltrates. So an important thing is not, well, for me, I can certainly speak for me, is that at one point, like I said, it was exhausting to be a people pleaser, and I didn't know who I was anymore. All I could think about is to make sure that I wouldn't stumble. And often we find ourselves in that situation. And how do we get out of it? And it's not easy. Understanding, well, first of all, what I can see is that we have to see and appreciate who we are. And that's the hardest thing. Once we lose our sense of who we are, our self-esteem, we are vulnerable. And in order to change that is to understand where we are, what our situation is, and also not to feel guilty. I'm using the word guilty because when you don't feel, when you believe that you're not enough, that you're not adequate, you might have a sense that you're letting people down, but actually it's yourself that you are letting down because you're not appreciating yourself, you're not loving yourself. And when we don't love ourselves first, it unravels in every aspect of our lives. So that is something that a lot of us are not aware of and are going through the motion. And speaking, and for example, with me for the longest time, I wouldn't speak about my feelings or even admit them because I saw them as weakness, as a weakness, until I realized I couldn't stay in that path. And what I've learned, the weakness that I saw in me or I perceived to be, I started to look at it from a different perspective and use it to my advantage. And I want to talk about resilience. When what I perceived was a flaw, draw a lesson from it. And from that, it's empowering because, okay, you stumble, you see where you are. Okay, so what do you draw from this? And you don't feel powerless because from that, you look at another perspective. I'll give you a very funny story. I'm simplifying things. We went to an expedition, and one person was responsible to get the tent for a group of 4. And the person did not buy a tent. She ended up buying tent flies. Okay, the thing that you cover yourself with. And we were in the middle of an isolated island, and felt, instead of looking at it as a failure, it brought the creativity in us. So put one at the bottom, one at the top, brought all our skills. Well, it got worse. There was 4 of us and one didn't bring a sleeping bag. So again, what we perceived as a flaw, turned it around. But I said, why don't we zip up 2 sleeping bags and have 3 people sleeping in it? You see, so I'm just simplifying this, but that's a little example here on how when you have adversity come at you, not to dwell on that. And it's not easy to do it, but if we can take the time to see, all right, this is what has been dished out to me. What do I do with it? instead of just staying here and mope about it. So that's what I'm going to talk about.
Well, I love that because a few weeks ago, we brought Trauma Talks Thursday from Brooklyn Bridge, if you all remember. I think that's the night Nancy was on, and it was really crazy because I tried to do a podcast in the open. I took my laptop, everything, but I forgot the camera. Then I forgot something else. And at that moment, when I got there and I checked the time to get back home, I was like, it's going to be too late. You make the best out of it. We did make the best out of it. If I bring Brittany Per back on right now, she'll tell you we made it happen. You can't really say a podcast that's outside. We created that. So there was a podcast happening live down in Dumbo by the Brooklyn Bridge. And I have something for all of you. All who want to meet up next week's Thursday night, episode 30, after the conference, we'll all be together in person. And I think we all can bring it from somewhere in Times Square. I will figure out how to do it good. And that way we mightn't be all together on the screen, but at least one thing we will be able to do is each one of you can grab the mic and give some little talk and tell about your amazing experience that you will be having with these amazing people. So Yannick, thank you. I love it. You do have to make the best out of it. There's a Bollywood movie, and I talk about this all the time. It's called Three Idiots. They're all little scientists and whatever. But within the movie, they would do this. These three friends will take their hand, put it on their chest, and they will say, all is well, all is well, all is well, right? So they actually have a song for it that goes all is well. The thing about that, it basically means all is well. You see, when things is all clustered on you and pressing you down, you have to remember the time from before. Hence my slogan, my motto, from where you were to where you are today. If you could actually always look back to a scenario that you are in right now and understood that, hey, this is temporary because I overcame that, you will see how less of a trauma it becomes to you and how you will understand that you have to move forward. All right, this is getting excited. Brittany, you want to add anything or ask Yannick anything before she leaves? But Yannick, before I do that with Brittany, here it is. We have, hi Yannick. Love you, Yannick. You're beautiful. You are a very intelligent, sweet lady. I love you, Miss Yannick.
Oh, thank you.
Good enough being the eldest child. Hey, Yannick, you see all these shout outs for you, Yannick. All right. So all of you, Yannick, thank you. But Britt, you want to ask anything before we bring on our next amazing guest?
Yep, Yannick, I am super excited to see you in New York. And what is going to be, I think, one of the main cornerstones of your talk in New York?
Main cornerstone, to take leap of faith, facing the unknown and the scary, and resilience, and coming on the other side.
Love it.
Powerful. All right. Thank you, Yannick. So we will be bringing our next amazing guest, but I'm not seeing her. Dr. Nimpu, are you there? Let's see the private chat. Please bear with me. Oh, she's having a power outage. So let's bring on who is after Dr. Nimpu. After Dr. Nimpu, we have Marlena. Oh, wow. Okay, great. Amazing. So we're almost done, everyone. So I'm sure you all are gaining a lot out of tonight's Trauma Talk Thursdays. You cannot say no. Yannick, thank you so much. We will see you backstage in a bit. All right.
Thank
We
you.
can't wait to
Nice to
see
see you all.
Okay. Brittany, this is excited. Very excited. Because the next person, just like Dr. Nimpu, so we leave two nurses, and Marlena Williams, she told you all her little story the last time when she was on here. And here she has this beautiful video that she put together that introduces her talk. And that's exactly how she's going to be bringing her talk on Broadway. But so let's do this right now. Ladies, gents, Rastas, Obscurum Knights, Malena William Knights. Hey, welcome to the stage and welcome to Trauma Talk Thursdays. Once again, Malena Williams. Malena.
Hey, everybody.
Again, and thank you for coming here. So let's do your video.
Thanks.
Everyone, my name is Marlena, and I am truly grateful to be here with all of you today. As a registered nurse, holistic healer, veteran, and the visionary founder of Creative Fire Alchemy, I've dedicated my life to transmuting pain into purpose and trauma into transformation. Today, I invite you on a journey, an explorative journey that dives deep into the shadows of trauma, but ultimately guides us towards the bright, beaming, shimmering light of resilience and recovery. Together, we will explore how these experiences like physical, emotional, and sexual traumas can shatter our sense of self, yet also serve as a catalyst for profound growth and self-discovery. I'll share my story, one that's marked by struggle, substance abuse, darkness, and the quest for self-acceptance. But this isn't just about me. It's about all of us reclaiming our power through 3 transformative principles: compassion, curiosity, and consistency. Compassion allows us to embrace our pain without judgment. It invites us to treat ourselves gently as we navigate the complexities of our emotions. Curiosity encourages us to explore our experiences with an open mind, to ask questions rather than making assumptions about ourselves and others. And of course, consistency. Consistency reminds us that healing is not a linear path. It's not a one-day event. It requires an ongoing commitment to ourselves and to our growth. Imagine a space where every emotion is welcomed without guilt or shame. A community where we can navigate our traumas together, using these 3 C's as our guiding lights. By embracing vulnerability and courage alongside compassion, curiosity, and consistency, we can uncover hidden strengths within ourselves. So join me as we embark on this empowering journey. Let's learn to turn our wounds into wisdom and ignite the fire within us all. I promise you won't want to miss what's next. So see you on October 3rd at the theater in New York City. Thank you for allowing me to hold and share healing space with everyone. I am so grateful. Namaste.
Hey, everybody. So that was my opening or introduction. I think things have kind of changed a little bit, but tonight I really just wanted to kind of touch base on and celebrate the power of resilience in all of us, in the human spirit. Each of us really carries a story, and the stories are filled with challenges, with triumphs, but also with pain and heartache. But each one of those traumas, each one of those experiences and stories really kind of shapes who we are. But with that being said, when we start to look at these traumas and we realize that there's opportunity for growth in everyone, we really begin to transform. And when we can sit there and stare at a reflection in the mirror and not only see the person who we are right now, but we begin to see the person who we can become, we gain strength. So every scar begins to tell a story, and every tear that we shed nurtures the strength within us. But we often view our past as failures or lost opportunities or traumatic experiences. But if we reframe that and see them as stepping stones towards a better version of ourselves, we begin to feel that compassion. We begin to explore that curiosity. So we've come together in these moments to really uplift one another and cultivate an environment that embraces vulnerabilities and that allows love and acceptance for sharing our experiences openly and honestly. and to create connections that inspire people to inspire people to heal and foster hope. Because no one leaves this world unscathed. No one goes home without experiencing trauma or, pain in their lives. So it's really time to turn the energy of these experiences into our strength and resilience. So I want you to breathe in the courage and exhale all the doubt. Choose joy over fear and connection over isolation. Because together we really can illuminate the path towards healing for ourselves and for the others around us, allowing light to guide the journey and shine even in the darkness. So I really am going to be speaking into compassion, curiosity, and consistency as the 3 transformative practices that can guide you through any traumatic experience, that can really be there for you when you need it the most. So I'm excited to be on stage in New York City. I think it'll be like my first kind of time in the city. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, I can't wait.
Amazing. We cannot wait to have you here as well. We're excited. Like, oh my God. And I saw, where it is, I just saw some comments here. But this was Yannick. We have so excited. Thank you for tonight. Hello, Malena, sorry. It's like everybody, this was under you when you were talking. Thank you for all for tonight. So excited. Malena, have fun in New York City. You are gonna have fun. It's going to be amazing. I mean, and listen, you see what you're bringing? It's so different. You see, many people miss these type of things. They think that you just have to rush it down. Like I was asked a question. Oh, by the way, while we're on here, let's play one more video. I have one more video for you all. But I was asked this question this week, like, what steps do you take in basically helping someone with their mental health who wants to, get their mental health a little bit better, like their mindsets and everything. You see, it just doesn't happen like that. I once went to basically a virtual conference with someone who presented, and they're telling you that within 30 days they can change your entire life. Hey, that will never happen. Ra believes and believe beyond, because I'm still here after 6.5 years. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you're right. And the thing about 6.5 years going, and I saw everything materialize in front of me, but not in 30 days. Slowly, but it's happening because your moment shapes into place. Because time, it's never, people always have this saying to say, oh, your right time will happen. Time never waits on no one, it keeps clicking. But your moment, it happens. And when it starts happening, it starts, like, as we say, in the darkness, you're looking for that little piercing light. And as you see that little dot of that piercing light, it starts getting brighter and brighter and brighter. That's your moment. When the brightness starts illuminating all around you. And what you bring and what you're doing and about to do, mind-blowing. I cannot definitely wait. Like, you know what I love? Every single week I ask Brittany this question. She's right here. You all can ask her. Brittany, don't I come back and say, hey, did you watch last night's episode back? I always do that. Watching it back, you'll be like, there's so much things that you all say weekly that I miss. Like you're saying it, I'm listening it, but it do not register until actually the second time. Well, the talk registers, but certain little things, that how you overcome, what you did, how you healed, those things really steps in. So I cannot wait to see it in person and then rewatch it, because it's all about your talk and who you are and what you bring to the society. So, Malena, thank you so much again. Brittany will chime in here and talk to you.
Yes. Marlena, what is the one thing that you are excited for the audience in New York to have as a takeaway from your talk?
That they're not alone, I think. And that it is okay to not be okay. And when you are able to recognize that, we're able to take steps to be okay. and that this journey is that exactly that. It's a journey, and it sometimes can feel really lonely, and you feel like you're the only person that has all these messed up things going on. But let me tell you, everybody else does too. And I think sometimes they get that facade of what everybody else perceives as you, or perceives, or what's everything that's on social media, or everybody perceives as what you are really experiencing. And so I think just letting people know that, and that there are people that go through these traumas and these experiences, and they do come out different. They may not be the same person they were when they went in, but they're stronger and more resilient now, and they can take on more of life's challenges and do it with grace and grit.
Wow,
Thank you.
that is amazing. And this is so, so amazing. All right. So Dr. Limpu told me to try her because she had lost power outage. So while we're all here, let's bring her on and see. Dr. Limpu, are you there? So she lost power, and let's see, she's using her phone now. So let's see if we can get her. While we're getting her, I have this. I hope it plays.
Talk about the mental health conference. Can you
Yes.
just tell us, what can people expect when they interact with this?
Okay, well, the mental health conference, even mind blowing. Your trauma talks. It's my little TED Talks. I don't want to get sued for anything, but this is what I created, a safe space for people to come out and talk their stories. Where on my poster, you will see all these amazing speakers that's coming in from Canada. A keynote speaker, Yannick Sadie. She's an author as well, and she talks just recently. We have a post on the New York Wire, and she spoke about people need to speak out. You see, speaking out, too many people are just stay in silence and they don't be heard. And this is one of the main things about it, to connect with others, to let them know you are not alone. And that's one of the main things that this conference is going to bring together.
Now, what advice would you give to somebody who may, feel hesitant to start, their mental health journey? I know it can be a big step for a lot of people, but that first step is so important. So what advice would you give to somebody who's kind of struggling with that?
See, like, when people tell you, right, you should join the gym, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. But if you push someone too much, it will become overwhelming. You don't want to do that. My way of telling people to look after their own mental health is not just telling them to make a nice meal for yourself, a healthy meal which will line up perfectly with your mental health. Taking small steps in fixing your own mental well-being, taking time out for yourself, especially because you take 5 minutes. People tell you, oh, you need to meditate. How? People ask that question when so many things is happening in your mind. But connecting with yourself, your God, the universe, whatever gives you that peace inside, starts with a little step of helping your mind be at peace of who you are within, to help your mindset to start getting into the right place of either doing exercise, yoga, as I said, cooking the right meals. But managing your mental health daily, completely different from different disorders. Now, if you have a therapist, if you have a psychologist or psychiatrist, continue doing your therapy, continue taking your medication. Nobody is saying no. But I'm talking about different, like daily mental health management. You have times, in the conference that's coming up, we have so many different topics. And one of them is trauma at the workplace. You think about you, the place that gives you that dollar to pay your rent and pay your bills, and you resent going to work because of different things that happens daily at work. So these are the things we want to show that, hey, listen, you can overcome this and have a different total mindset with everything that comes together.
Well, thank you so much. Can you quickly just let everybody know where they can go to learn more and how they can actually be a part of the conference?
Sure. You can just scan the QR code that's on the screen, right? We're going to have it on the screen. Mm-hmm. You can scan the QR code and you can get a ticket. It's on Broadway at the Theater Center, and it's actually, you can find us on IG, Your Life Experiences with Ra, YLEWRAH.com, everywhere like that. You want to find me. And it's Rahul K. Maharaj. You Google me. Okay. I'm all over.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your journey.
And thank you.
All right, let's see if Dr. Nimfu is ready. I mean, I had to like you see what I was just saying. People ask you, it's a small steps you take. Let's try her one more time. Dr. Nimpu, I think she's still having that problem because they had a power outage. So I guess this is about where we're about to wrap the show up. Let's bring anybody else wants to come back on. Anybody backstage, just pop your hand up so you all can come say bye. So, all right, here comes Susie. All right, she's coming up to say bye. Yannick, come up, say bye to everyone. And we
Bye.
have Tiffany. All right, so that's all of us for today. Everyone on Trauma Talks Thursdays, thank you so much. And we are looking forward to seeing all of you. Please join us on Broadway in Times Square, New York City next Thursday, October 3rd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We are going to bring a full day of trauma and entertainment because you know who. Right now, the talk of everyone's mouth is Lavari. Lavari will be your host. So expect some singing. All right? Anyone want to chime in and say anything before we leave? It's all yours.
Just want to say thank you, and I'm super excited.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's so nice to meet you all. I feel so much better. My nerves have gone like this.
Thank you. And I can't wait to see you all in New York next week.
Yay.
All right, Brett, you want to say something before we close off?
Yeah, see you all in New York. I put in the chat a free gift, at least for people that I can reach with that link. And feel free to find your tickets on Raw's website. You saw it on the video. Hopefully you busted out your phones, were able to scan it. If not, rewatch this and get that code scanned. We'll see you in New York.
Woo. So everyone, thank you. We see Sherry, Tamara, Arita, Nandita. Nandita, 15 was just giving me a story how she posted a picture. She lost her dad back in 2009. Nandita, we love you. May your dad rest in peace. Thank you so much, Jenny. We'll see you next Thursday together with everybody else. Shanaz, hello, welcome. And JC, Sweetie Nori, Sherry David, everyone who has logged in tonight. Thank you. Please share this, subscribe. Those of you watching the podcast back and you haven't came to Broadway, but at least look out and connect with each one of these amazing speakers. Their names and their information is all in the information. All of you, we love you. This is Ra, Yannick, Milena, Brittany, Tiffany, Susie. We love you all. God bless you. Good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Thank you, everybody. Love you.
See you.
Thank you, Sherry.